Episode 32. This is season 3.
Season 3.
We played what pieces last week, Josh?
Yep.
This week we got Foreman for real. And just like I had imagined when we drew it, there's only one person I can think of as far as Foreman, and it's George Forman, and that's exactly who this was.
Yeah. It's not about the grill, though.
Lean green grilling machine. I think it was something like you knocked the fat out of. I can't remember.
I can't remember the old commercials.
So there is going to be just a little spoiler alert before we get into this. There's going to be a lot of George Foreman fun facts at the end of this that are pretty freaking interesting. I have a feeling.
I know one fun fact, and I don't know if it's true or not because I've never done the research on it.
Well, go ahead and hit us with it.
Didn't he name like all his sons George?
Yes,
that
is true.
That is true.
I think. Well, we'll save some of this.
I think his daughter was like Georgina or something.
No, I don't think that is.
Okay.
He had more than one daughter, by the way. I think he had a couple of marriages. I mean, you're George Foreman. You're doing what you do.
Yeah. You were one of the boxing champions at one point in time.
So,
you made a fantastic grill.
Yes, and so I'm going to go ahead and read the back of the box, Josh. I'm going to read the first sentence, and then I'm going to come to you and say, what the fuck do you think he's talking about here? Because I don't quite understand it.
Also, spoiler alert, we're recording on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday.
That is true. So here it goes, the back of the box. I'm just going to read the first line into the to the colon, and then I'm going to say, what is your thoughts on it?
Is it a semicolon or a colon?
It is a colon.
Oh.
Pay attention, pug.
Okay, is it P-U-G like the dog?
Yes, it is P-U-G.
Okay.
I don't understand that.
I don't either. Don't either. It's already caught me off guard. I feel insulted.
I had Chinese pugs growing up. I think they're cool. Allie hates them. He cannot stand them.
I hate them too. I can't say anything.
So let's try this again. Pay attention, pug. This is the biggest fight of your life. You're facing 20 of the toughest boxers in the world, and each pack a powerful punch. If you get past them, you got big George Foreman and the title waiting. This ain't no fight club. It claims most motion capture technologies makes the most authentic action you've ever experienced. So get in there, get tough, get real. Foreman for real.
Okay.
I will have to say though.
Catchy.
I do like the last sentence. Get in there, get tough, get real. Get Foreman for real.
Yeah.
But I do have two problems with this. I do not know why you're calling somebody a pug.
Yeah. Okay, unless it's an insult because you're going to get hit in the face that you become flat-faced.
That has to be it.
Become hard to breathe, I don't know.
That has to be it. The other part is when it says, this ain't no club. Oh, this is no club fight. I said fight club.
You did say fight
club. I said this ain't no club fight. I'm like, no, this is a fight club. So that pumped my brakes there.
Okay.
I guess I'm a pug. I read that wrong. So this ain't no club fight.
No, I want to. Did they meant to put scrub?
No, I don't think. No, it was pretty clear. And I had to top this out, so I was making sure I could read the writing, and I.
Oh, no, I ain't saying anything. Like, do you think they meant to say scrub, and the dude's like, oh, pug? Like he just had a hard hearing day? I don't know. And they just went with it. It's about like Google. Google wasn't supposed to be spelled Google. It's supposed to have been something completely off the wall.
I feel like you would probably say punk.
Or punk. Yeah, punk.
I don't know. I kind of like you. I mean, I have a feeling if he punched me in the face, it'd flatten my face like, nah, I'd probably pop out like a Chinese pug. By the way, none of my China, we've had 3 Chinese pugs, and none of their eyes popped out. Sure as hell looked like they were about to, but they never did. Okay. This game was released September 95. So this may be one of the later, newest games, I guess, that we've played.
Yeah.
It came out on the Game Boy, the Game Gear, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo. It was published by Acclaim. It was developed by Software Creations. Software Creations was eventually bought by Acclaim, but I think they were saying arguably their biggest hit was they had made Bubble Bobble on the Commodore 64. I don't think that they necessarily had the rights to Bubble Bobble, but somehow developed that for the Commodore 64. They also worked with Ghouls and Ghosts on Nintendo.
Ghouls and Ghosts?
Yeah, Ghouls and Ghosts.
Solid game.
They also did
Super and Ghouls
Solstice.
Solstice? Okay.
I remember that game. My brother liked it on regular Nintendo. I hated it. But they actually were in a lot of games, and then Acclaim bought them somewhere along the line. So essentially, it's a full-on Acclaim game. This is actually a sequel to George Foreman's Knockout Boxing, which was on the Nintendo Genesis, maybe Mega Drive. It was a previous game that I've never played either. I'm just going to go ahead and skip the directors and producers and composers because I don't think, like the composer, there was a team of them. There really was a whole lot of composing.
It's a fight. It's a boxing game. Bell rings. You get in. You punch each other.
Right. So basically, I guess kind of that's really all the build up for the game. You're 100% right. It's a boxing game, and it's loosely, I would say, kind of like a Punch Out, kind of like a Sam's Club Punch Out, generic Punch Out maybe.
Yeah.
And they do give you a couple game modes in there as exhibition, career, tournament modes. You can go between 3 and 12 round fights. There's a couple camera views. It does have a password system. But that is one thing that's kind of neat is you basically can start your own career and work your way up from the bottom and try to take the title from George Foreman, or you can just go ahead and have an exhibition, fight as him,
fight against him, whatever you want to do.
And when I say this is kind of like the style of a Punch Out, Punch Out, everybody's played it. You're kind of straight on your opponent. Jab, digging left, right, jabs, uppercuts, hooks. This one's kind of like at an angle. It's like if you had a boxer in each corner and then had a straight on look. Like I don't know. It's kind of
an odd angle.
It is an odd angle,
and I will discuss that.
I'm sure you will. There is a lot to discuss about. We're just gonna say that one of the sections, maybe the make it, maybe the break it, probably gonna have a lot of chatter in it. But basically, it's a boxing game. Nothing short of it. And if you've ever played Punch Out, you would kind of say, hey, they're trying to cash in on a Punch Out knockoff. That's exactly what I thought.
It's a generic Punch Out. It really is.
And so this is, it does also remind me a lot, I guess I'll save that for the break it. When we get into it. But, George Forman is, the face of it. So that's where I would say a lot of the money in this game went to.
Yeah.
As far as that, is there anything I've missed on the build-up of this game, Josh?
I'm just curious. Were the other boxers real?
No.
They weren't?
No.
Okay.
I was going to say this is very similar to Roger Clemens' baseball.
Yeah. Only one of them was true, and that's the person on the cover.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, he was like that in the same genre, and I know a lot of people.
You mean the old dude wasn't a real boxer?
Old dude.
Yeah. What was his name in Mike Tyson Punch Out? The dude. Oh, he was the old guy that took one hit to defeat.
Oh, Glass Joe or something like that.
Yeah, Glass Joe.
Well, no, I don't. He's not a real person. But, Mike Tyson, a lot of people argue that's one of the best Nintendo games out, or one of the, favorite games. So, I guess you want to just go ahead and jump over into Make It on this, Josh?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
I bet you're going to know the first thing that I'm going to tell you makes this game good. It follows the basic rules of boxing. It is a boxing game that basically follows the basic rules.
I was about to say, wasn't the startup? I was thinking through the startup, and I'm like, the startup wasn't all that great.
Well, there's one thing that is kind of cool that you're getting in there. You got boxing gloves. You're punching each other. There's rounds. And they're actually, not only if you get knocked down, they keep track of, they're giving you the 10 count. You got to get up. But they also give you the score at the end of each round. 10-9, 9-8, 10-10.
I think it's impossible to get a 10-10.
I got a 10-10. I got a question on that in the break it part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was impossible to get that as well. I think you can get like a 9-9. I don't follow boxing a whole lot.
No.
But so that was one thing that I liked. Is it basically follows the rules. I did like that they have a career mode.
Yeah, the career, like, I dabbled in it for a little bit.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if all you're playing, just like Roger Clemens, any other sports game, if all you're doing is you're playing exhibition over and over and over, anything short, and even though they do have a season, it's almost like an exhibition like NBA Jam, you've got to do something special to want to have somebody just keep playing an exhibition or the same tournament over and over. So having a career mode is pretty cool. So basically you just work your way up, you earn money. And one thing I liked is you kind of got to choose your opponents. Even though I'm not sure that that's really necessarily a thing. I mean, maybe to an extent. But I guess if you thought you're better than the guy, like when you start and you're in 20th place and you think you're better than the guy in 19th, you can take the guy who's in 18th place.
Yeah.
So I guess you can kind of...
I mean, they do get to pit their bouts to a point, like, because I used to do the UFC games, and I think boxing falls.
I think you do. I mean, you can pick and tell somebody you want to fight them, but I'm pretty sure that it's either going to be agreed upon or the federation or whatever organization wants that to happen.
Yeah, because you can't immediately go in and say I'm better than the champion and fight the champion. Like you gotta work your way up to it, but you also have to do the song and dance. You got to go against an X amount of people before you can go up. Right. So you got to find those contenders who either think they're just as good as you or better. Because if a contender is worse than you, they're not going to fight you. You know, why would you knowingly...
You're a contender or a pretender?
Yeah, I guess.
One thing that was kind of cool in the career mode, though, is kind of sucked a little bit, and I guess it would technically fall into break it, is you didn't get to create your own person.
No.
Who wouldn't want to make, your own avatar to fight, but you had to pick one of the 20 preloaded boxers. But they had 20 boxers. That's a lot more than I thought there would be.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be like 5 to maybe 10.
And and another thing is when, going into the bout, especially in career mode, I kind of enjoyed the build up to it was kind of clunky going through, but once you actually set your fight up and it kind of gave you that little animation of, the gym and maybe one of my favorite things is the poster actually having your boxer's name versus it basically looked like, hey, you're not fighting in Vegas over here, but you're fighting down here in Knoxville. And, at the Cotton Eye Joe or whatever. It was like, it basically looked like a way smaller arena.
Yeah.
Just like something that somebody'd want to go watch on a Friday night and pay $10 gate to go in and watch. I did like that, though, because it kind of had that gritty feel, probably how a lot of boxers have started out. Yeah, UFC, boxers, wrestlers, whatever.
Yeah, because didn't at one point in time we have the Golden Glove around here that you could join and you done those bouts around.
Yeah, I think it's, I forget, it was some kind of boxing club.
Yeah, I think it was Golden Glove, and you got to go to different areas.
So, what do you have that makes the game, Josh?
Not much. Like I said, not much. One of my favorite things is it's the same thing as Roger Clemens. The other boxes weren't based on real people that I know of. Some of them had some pretty unique nicknames, so I thought that was pretty comical.
Yeah, I think like the Axe, and they were pretty goofy.
Yeah, I mean, no, they were goofy, but they were boxing. Like, okay, I see what you done here.
Now, I don't think any of them, like Roger Clemens, you
had the Wizard.
Yeah, I don't think any of these guys really favored any boxer.
No,
but of course, I'm boxer ignorant. If you're not like one of the heavyweight. Like, the Mike Tysons, the George Formans, maybe Butterbean, Holyfield, Frazier, Ali, them are going to be the guys that I know.
Yeah.
Mayweather and all that. You talk about a guy that may have won the championship in 75 for a year. I probably ain't going to know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
So, I've only got one more thing that I think makes this game, and it really, I think, is probably a broken part of the game, but as I quote here, it cracks me the fuck up. I laugh like no tomorrow. I like kind of like there's a little bit of a cheapness to it. I don't think they meant for it to be this way, but like right when that round's about to end, you get that extra punch in. But like, I'll go ahead and tell you that I got my ass knocked down. I was not very good at this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Nope.
But my ass got knocked down, and I swear to God, not that I'm not even going to talk about getting up because that's in the dang breaking part. But when my dang little head popped up, that son of a bitch started punching me before I even got on my damn feet. And I was just laughing. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was like, you can't do that, ref. Get him off me.
Yeah, where's the penalty?
Yeah.
I mean, where's the disqualification?
By God, you better not get your dang fist on the ground and a knee because he's damn punching you. Like, you better make sure.
He may not be throwing knees or elbows, but
what happened to backing the guy off and then the referee coming over and punching you gloves saying, you okay?
Yeah.
No, this motherfucker was like, you good? And just punching you.
Oh, you halfway up? Let me fix that.
It's still moving. Let me kill it some more. And that part cracked me up so much. And I definitely don't think it was meant to be that way. But I'm like, come on, man. I thought of Austin Powers, like the first one where the guy throws a shoe at him. He's like, you fight like a woman.
Did you honestly throw a shoe?
Come on, man. And that part was so funny to me. That was my absolute favorite part of all of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just like...
I honestly had that. It wasn't in the make it. It wasn't in the break it. I had an own special category just called comical. And that's where I was going to round this out at.
Okay. So we're going to ease in. That's all that makes it. It was a very short list for me.
Straight, yeah.
You don't have nothing left on your heart for me.
No, I don't.
I see a blank look right here.
Yep.
I feel like you've said what you needed to say. I'm going to ease in on the break it before we start really kicking the shit out of this game.
Title was terrible.
The title was terrible. The graphics overall, and there's no way of even talking about it. The graphics look very unreal and strange. The animation of the boxers, the pics, like when you just go look at the boxers and actually stare at the boxers, like George Foreman's face looks like a dang.
Oh, they
were horrible.
They are disformed.
And so I don't know, like
they look like they were wax dummies in a wax museum that was too hot, so it slightly melted.
Now I know it's probably their shading or what. I swear there's this black dude that had a white body on him. Like I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm just like, whatever, whatever. But the graphics were bad. At first, when it shows, like, I think George Forman in there working on, like, a punching bag, it kind of looks strange. And it's like, okay, let's roll with this. Let's see what happened here. If I want to play Punch-Out, I can play Punch-Out. Let me see what Acclaim brings to the table.
Yeah,
I quickly took back my excitement for what Acclaim could do. The side animation,
okay. So you're easing into this, into the break. So
I guess, should we go controls next? You go.
It's a tie between me. It's either the controls or the angle that you had to fight in.
Let's go with the angle that you got to fight.
Okay, because I was about to say they're both pretty fucking shitty.
Now, all of this mixed in with the animation, I swear to God, it was like the animation reminded me of like Donkey Kong Country had sex with George Foreman. Like, that's how I felt like the boxers were, and it wasn't good.
No.
Like, so they looked funny, number one, but I can get past that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like Star Fox. Like,
that's
you do what you need to do, and if it comes out great, everybody's going to talk about how smart you are, and when it don't work, you're an idiot. They kind of look like an idiot.
Yes. The whole aspect of this game is I understand it's a boxing game. And they didn't want to copy Punch-Out. So, I mean, I'm assuming Punch-Out came out before this game.
Well, the Punch-Out Mike Tyson's or Punch-Out for Nintendo was way earlier. I would imagine, I've not looked it up, with this game being out in 95, if you told me that Nintendo waited that long to release Super Punch-Out, they're freaking idiots. Because I think Super Punch-Out was way earlier, because that's a big cash game.
Yeah. And not only that, but they already had a formula out there. If you want to copy something, copy the best. And they didn't.
Well, and I think probably what I claim, if just speculating, is like, hey, if we're going to make a game.
Revamp it?
Well, if you're going to make any sports game, you think about some of the better ones. I mean, you're going to have RBI baseball, but you're going to say Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run, which actually the developer on this actually did some work on the Ken Griffey Jr. games for Super Nintendo. But, you're going to have like Wayne Gretzky's championship hockey.
Hate that.
So you're going to end up, you want to make a franchise. You want to put a face with it. George Foreman's ball. I think they're probably like, let's go get our star, and then we're going to put a game to it.
Which is fine. I understand that. But there was already a formula that worked.
Well,
and the formula that they've done, what my assumption is this, I think they were wanting to revamp boxing games because I can't remember which football game it was. I want to say it was a 2K game where if you were playing the game, you could actually go inside helmet view, which was really cool. So I think the way they done it with the angle that they were going for was a unique perspective that failed miserably.
See, I think they may have did it because of Punch-Out. Because if you say, hey, what's probably your biggest deal, your biggest gripe with Punch-Out is you're stuck in this big ring and you can't move. So going to side, you actually open up the ring a little bit, even though it sucks. I think maybe that's why they did that. I mean, I could see why they would do that because, there ain't a whole lot of bad stuff I have to say about Punch-Out. But, you essentially got a big wrestling boxing ring and you never move. And this one you moved, but that angle, that was so weird.
Yeah, it gave it depth maybe, but...
The problem you still had with it is if you're doing that to make it where you can move around the ring, you still really couldn't move around the damn ring.
No.
You walked on a line.
Yeah, you walked forward at an angle and backwards at an angle.
Even though it was at an angle, it's no different than playing Street Fighter, walking straight on and straight out. Even though you're on that angle, there wasn't a whole lot.
It was a side-scroller at the end of the day.
And it wasn't even that cool. I mean, okay, so... Maybe if you give me if I got to go across the ring to fight this guy, when you ring that bell, I want to see that guy,
getting ready.
Yeah, you know what I've seen? My dumb ass kind of just bobbing it over there, and then all of a sudden this dude's over here ready to throw haymakers on me. It was like, this isn't fun.
No.
I mean, you kind of feel good when you're moving them backwards and stuff, and I was better at defense moving away from them, but yeah, it was bad. It was a horrible angle.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And I agree, they should have probably stuck with something similar to Punch-Out. But I think they'd used that action. What is it they say in the box? They had motion capture technology, and I guess they thought that was the best way to do it. Well, the motion capture technology looked like shit, and it played like shit. It
really did. It was terrible.
So on top of that, the graphics, they weren't as bad in the ring as they were outside of the ring, but they still weren't great. And the side fighting sucks. But hey, if you're going to do that, make some awesome controls. Guess what they did? They didn't make a goddamn good control either.
These controls were by far, I think, one of the worst controls.
Do you know what the hell you were doing with any of the controls? No. I'm just like, you know what I felt like? Playing this fucking game, I felt like somebody's younger brother or sister, and they're like, oh, here's your controller, you get to play. And I feel like I'm over here mashing buttons and none of it matters, and I look, my controller's not plugged up. They're just trying to get me shut the hell up. That's how I felt like playing this fucking game. I'm like, okay, I found out it's like what the X button punches and the B button punches. What the fuck do the other buttons do? Oh, he's squatting down. Is he just sticking his head up to get, hit? Is he blocking? The whole fucking fight aspect was garbage.
L and R done something. I can't remember what it done.
Oh, yeah, I felt like it changed your punch a little bit, but, man.
It was terrible.
How many times did you hit a punch button? And it wasn't like you're getting ready to punch and the dude stuns you. You hit the punch button, and your guy just stands there.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, punch. Oh, he blocked it. Oh, it's too hard to do anything else. I'm just going to keep hitting this button.
Yeah, I do. I spammed A. I spammed A and B the entire time.
It was so bad. So bad. I'm like, how can this be so bad? And it's just like, I think on one of them, they're like, hey, stick with the jab. And it's like, yeah, I don't even know if what I'm doing is considered technically a jab.
No.
And then on top of that, the hitbox was all over the fucking place. It was all over. Now, I will say the hitbox probably played in my favor more than it did against me. Because it's like, this dude, I'd back off, and this dude be walking toward me, and man, I must just be catching him with the little hair on the end of my glove, knocking his face up. And I swear there's times when he was right up in my shit, and he's like throwing these freaking haymakers, uppercuts, and he's not hitting me. I don't know if it's hurting me or not. That's another thing that we're going to come up to next. But I'm like, I felt like the hitbox was handicapped to help me. But, it was horrible. That part was horrible. I don't know how many times, like, at least when they dodged, you kind of...
It looked reasonable.
And it actually looked, because the boxer that you picked, you never could see his face. You seen the back of his head, because the person you're fighting with, it was just like, oh, great, I get to look at the back of his head. But I can look at the other boxer as he's dodging and knocking the shit out of me. The hitbox was bad. To go into not knowing what half the fucking controls were in this game, I don't know if I didn't know them. I feel like that the buttons randomly just didn't work. Yeah. And like it was almost like it was like just rotating which button was a punch.
Yeah, it was either they didn't work, there was a lag in it, like a severe lag. Like I said, maybe if you got hit with a haymaker, it stunned your dude for like a second or two. Who knows? I don't know.
So, explain to me this, Josh, just in your opinion. How the fuck did your power meter or your health, how did that work?
Okay, my only assumption is this. It decreases with punches not landed and damage you took. That's the only thing I can come up with.
I mean, the first thing I'm going to think, and I'm not into the fighting genre. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I can get out on some fighting. That's a good boxing game, Punch Out. But, I'm ignorant to the fact. But if you give me a power meter and you said, hey, it's going to be blue and red, I'm going to think, hey, well, my power is going to be blue. And as it goes down, the red. So your power meter is red. As it goes down, it's turning blue. Like blue is, I don't even know what the fuck it was. But I do know there was stamina mixed in with it. I don't know, man. Like that power meter was
it was the worst.
It was as bad, if not worse, than the fucking controls. Because then I don't know. I mean, I get it. And there was times where I backed off the opponent a little bit to gather a little health. Not that it fucking mattered.
No, because he wasn't backing off. He was running.
But yeah, it was just like it was so fucking clunky, the whole thing. And then heaven forbid to mix in the two of how bad the controls are and the power meter. Explain to me, how did you get up when you got knocked down?
I didn't.
I hit every fucking button because it never says hit A. Yeah. Get up. Like at least on like Punch Out, you see your guy's little head pop up and you're like, hammering out. I'm just slapping buttons.
Just
I will go ahead and tell you, the first time I played it pissed me off so bad I hit pause. I said, throw in that fucking towel. I was like, this game, I could tell you, like I say, a game can't be called great in the first 5 minutes of playing. No. But I could tell you how bad it was in the first 5 minutes of playing. Another thing was George Forman was the only real fighter. It is okay. And I did like that and I guess I should probably put it in the make it, with the 20 fighters, they all had like a background story behind everybody. But all you got is George Forman. Like I say, not necessarily a breaker, because Mike Tyson literally did the same thing and it's held in the highest regards, but this game was not strong enough.
Mike Tyson has somebody that became a fan favorite.
Well, that is true. A little bit of hangover.
Yeah. Lil Mac.
Oh, well, that is true. That is true.
He's so popular that he's in Smash Bros. Now.
I've played Smash Bros. One time. Then somebody literally said, hey, pick up this controller on the Switch, play Smash Bros. I was like, I've never played. I played it. And then they proceeded to talk shit straight to my face, like this far from it. Oh. And I'm like, I've never fucking played.
Not gonna lie, we a different breed whenever it comes to Smash Brothers.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to get good at Smash Brothers. I'm coming for you. I got to play a second game. Yeah. I shut down after the first game. I'm like, I threw it. I felt like that's when somebody's like, that's like Shaq saying, hey, let's play. I promise I won't elbow you. And then he gets slams and puts his nuts right in my face. That's what happened to me in my first Smash Bros. Experience. So, not a fan. Not
understandable.
Probably, okay. But yeah, this game wasn't strong enough. No fault of George Foreman, but the game just wasn't strong enough to have it. It wasn't interesting enough.
It wasn't strong on all points, which is really a failure on development.
And I could be wrong. The last thing I have on my heart that breaks it is the scoring aspect sucked. So
yep, I said you already hinted to it. You said you got 10 out of 10. I thought that was impossible.
Now, I could be wrong, but I'm under the impression it doesn't matter if you throw 1,000 punches or 10 punches. Missed punches does not count against your score. This is the way I understand it. It's the landed punches. So if you punched 100 times and you hit somebody 50 times, they're not going to give you like a 5 out of 10. They're going to count the points you hit them with.
Yeah.
I mean, the other part is if you're throwing that many haymakers and stuff, that's on you because you're going to tire yourself out. The first 3 rounds I played through, I wore this dude out. Like, I'm just pressing. Now, don't get me wrong. The computer has no problem just, lotting me up. I mean, I've got him pretty good. I'm bam, bam, bam,
yeah,
bam,
you're
bam,
sitting
bam,
there.
bam. I'm spamming that button.
You're the last 10 seconds in a ring of 2 heavyweights just sitting there slugfesting.
And I'm laying into this dude, and I'm like, I may get the shit knocked out of me over stamina, but I won this first round. It scored the first round 10-9 them. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. I mean, I almost knocked the dude down in the first round. I mean, I still had like half my health.
Yeah.
Stamina was shit. But like I say, that's on me. You can't penalize me for that. So I come into the second round and he works me over. He rides me like a bicycle. And I think they gave him like a 10-8. Or maybe it was another 10-9. So I'm like, okay, well, I've lost 2 rounds. I need a knockout.
Yeah, you got. It's time to nut up or shut up.
Yes, I did not get knocked. Oh, what was crazy? Well, okay, yeah, this is what was crazy. The first round I thought I won. It was 10-9. I got knocked down at the end of the second round. Got up. He won the round 10-9. I'm like, I won the first round. It was 10-9. He knocked me down. Should that not be 10-8? Like, he beat me up pretty good.
Yeah,
like, I mean, like, there was no question he won the second round. Third round comes through there. And I mean, I'm just like straight on like blood sport. I'm grabbing his face, kneeing him. I mean, I'm going all out.
You going through Fight Club.
Yes. Now, I'm telling you.
You want to be Mike Tyson and remove an ear.
He did not knock me out. I didn't knock him out. I got him down low. But, man, this was no question. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not hanging my head. I come out here. I won a round. He won 2. Maybe a judge would give me a spot. Who knows?
Yeah.
Pops up 10-10. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Not only did I not win, you gave us a 10-10 score. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this scoring system.
Yeah. Better off just giving you both zeros. Like you didn't even show up for the round.
I was like, I've played this shitty game through 3 rounds. Give me what I'm entitled to. Yeah. By God. I'm not asking for a handout. I earned that shit.
Win or lose at that point. But you give me a tying score, we might as well just sit in respective corners.
Yeah. A tying score to me is like them UFC spots where everybody's just scared. They're just like slapping. Oh, and and everything start booing. I can understand getting like a 9-9 or an 8-8. But there is no way, number one, that guy scored 10 points. But, I mean, I was going out there, like, I was doing, like, freaking spin around. I wasn't doing any of that. But, I worked this dude over.
You're just working
and I'm like, you know what?
All you're doing is just throwing that right-handed jab the entire time.
And, his face is just like an old 80s action movie. I'm just popping him. The dude locked me up, they broke us up, and I went right back out.
Little Looney Tunes action.
I'm sweating doing all this punching animation. So, to me, that's all I got that breaks the game, Josh. You got anything heavy on your heart?
No, this game was absolutely terrible. It was probably... It's going to get interesting in the rankings because I don't know what is the worst sports game so far. This
game really was bad. It was really bad.
This game was terrible.
Sound
effects weren't good.
No, that's why it fails me with the composing. I'm like, there's not a whole lot of composing except for this cutscenes.
I could tolerate, especially over Hit the Ice.
Yeah, that is true. And the people hollering from the crowd and.
Yeah, like I mean,
when I seen career mode, I'm like, I can fuck with this game.
See, that was my
And then
thought,
I'm
too.
like, I play the first round of it, and I'm like, no,
I can't do this.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to get up there to George Foreman, I'm like, dude, I lost. I got the shit beat out of me and won $42,000. So don't get me wrong. Let's do 2 fights in one night. Beat the shit out of me 2 times for $42,000. But I'm just like,
Yeah, because that's a year's salary for most people.
I'm like, this dude, I'm like, I don't even want to play. Like, you got to go through roughly 20 of these motherfuckers? It's like, no. And I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, I'm like, Roger Clemens baseball is one of the worst sports games I ever played. I'm like, is this worse than this? Or Hit the Ice was pretty bad too. I don't know. This was pretty bad.
This is definitely on that radar.
So to come in with this, Josh, I guess to show how bad this game is, I don't even have a speed run for you. There's no speed run does not have this game.
So just one of us needs to commit.
Well, I think time out. There is a speed run for the original. This is the sequel. The original does have speed runs on it on all 3 systems.
Don't care. This is not that game.
Well, I think that, this is what I think you're probably assuming. I think if you go to speedrun.com and say, hey, can you open up a speed run for George Foreman boxing, whether it's quickest to beat an exhibition, a career, or a tournament, that they would do it. I don't know that they would, because there are people on YouTube that are attempting speed runs, but speedrun is not recognizing this game as a speedrunnable game, I guess. So, that's weird, because it's like most of the time you'll be, we've had games where there's only been one speed run, but speedrun does not recognize. Maybe people haven't asked for it, but there's people on YouTube. If you type in YouTube, George Foreman, or Foreman for Real speedrun, there are people trying to speedrun it. Now, I did not care enough to look at it. But.
I understand speedruns. There's different caliber of speedruns. Number one is to beat the game. To me, that's a speedrun.
Right. Well, here's I think where your problem's going to come on speedrun is you probably ain't got a lot of interest in the game. I mean, when I say there's people speedrunning it, I've seen 5 YouTube videos. So
again, doesn't matter.
So I mean, I think that this is what's going to happen is you're going to have speedrun for exhibition, who can win a match the quickest. Then you're going to have speedrun for who can beat the tournament the quickest,
and then career.
And then maybe they group that all together, or maybe they hold it separate, because sometimes Super Nintendo's is separate than Sega's.
Yeah.
And so I do know it was on, what did I say, Game Boy?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I was kind of shocked not to find a speedrun on this. But in the place of it, I do have reviews, price charting.
Dude, if they score this reviews
and
higher than a 3.5 schmeckles.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into the reviews. And then you think if you want your price charting, your George Foreman facts. I will go ahead and tell you the George Foreman facts, in my opinion, are probably the best part of this. This whole podcast is going to be these facts. I have a feeling.
Okay.
Because I think George Foreman is actually a super likable guy.
Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, the commercials were pretty funny.
So I think I've got 4 here, not counting them, but GamePro, their reviewer, greasy guy. Beat up on this game pretty bad. Just basically, I don't know if you know who Don King is. Do you know him? He's a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
He used to, I think he was the promoter that really made Tyson famous.
Yeah.
Can't remember. He's got the hair.
Yeah, he has the thunder fro.
I don't know what a thunder fro is, but I feel like that is him. I would call it a thunder fro. So to paraphrase, basically taking one sentence out of his review that pretty much summed it up, what stands out is the quote he put: "The school bus full of Don Kings couldn't generate any excitement for this fight." And I'm like, oh man, that's pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
So another one of Tommy Glide from GamePro, he did a review on the Genesis. He said the average music severely drowns out the sound effects with each fight. You won't hear the ref count on knockdowns. The punch offense sound like bad kung fu noises from the 70 films. The crowd silent and the round bell sounds like someone's tapping a children's toy piano. So,
yeah.
Tommy Glide didn't have... GamePro was not on.
Yeah, no. So, Don...
That's a Thunder Fro. That is Don King.
That's a Thunder Fro. Because it's wispy, it goes up. It's like you just came out of a thunderstorm, man.
Ultimate Gaming Magazine gave this game a 5 out of 10. Said, don't waste your time with this game when you can easily pick up Electronic Arts' Foes of Ali. Which sounds like a very...
That sounds interesting.
Now, I don't know that I've ever heard of that game, so I feel like it's probably a Sega game, but I don't know. And Next Generation, I feel like this one probably...
That had a damn good name, though. Foes of Ali?
Yeah, that is... I don't know. Look it up. See if it's a Super Nintendo game.
That's a damn good name.
I have a feeling that sounds... Now, it's an EA game, so, they're across all platforms. But this might have been back in the EA Sports It's in the Game top thing. It's Electronic Arts Foes of Ali.
I'm looking right now.
Now, the last review I have feels like a review that we would give this game. Like, this sounds like the most true. They did not buy... I don't think any of these reviews were purchased, so they were all pretty honest. But Next Generation Magazine, they rated the Genesis version, and they said, it comes down to blindly mashing buttons, 1 out of 5 stars. There seems to be no real effort put into any single aspect of this title, and the end result is arguably one of the poor boxing efforts ever released. I don't know that I played a whole lot of boxing games that were worse than this. I don't know that I played a whole lot of them. I played some Fight Nights on PS2, and they were fun. I mean, they hurt the hell out of your hand because you just, Yeah.
I mean, of course, I've done the... my genre of fighting games would be Mortal Kombat, Street Fighters, Smash Brothers.
Yeah, but you play the original Punch-Out.
Yeah, Punch-Out, and then Def Jam.
I've never played the Def Jams. I've got some.
So Foes of Ali is on the 3DO Interactive.
Son of a bitch.
So.
Okay. Do you want your price charting right now, or do you?
Yeah, well, if you said I'm trusting you that the fun facts are the best parts of this.
Save the best for last.
Yeah,
okay.
we have to with this game. This game was a nightmare.
All right, loose copies are spot on. The eBay was twice as much on a complete copy, and eBay was ridiculous. Yeah, versus price charting on a new copy. I feel like price charting. You go ahead and throw that sponsored price charting because you are 100% on par, I feel like, on the pricing. The eBay fools are just ridiculous on this. So what do you think a loose copy of this would be?
Dude, if you tell me that a loose copy of this game is more than $7...
You hit the nail on the head. eBay, I've roughly put it at $7. Price charting had it $6.96. So, a complete copy. Manual, all the jazz. Now, keep in mind, when I played Roger Clemens, I bought a copy that was complete except for the poster.
Yeah.
I have not looked up a copy of this. Other than the pricing, I have not said, let me flip off the sold to see what a copy goes for. I have not did that.
Yeah.
The
gremlin hasn't dragged you up.
No, there is no gremlin on this. I would rather buy a George Forman grill now with this game. But
Hey, I have a George Forman grill.
I've had one. I think everybody has.
They saved my life whenever I was a bachelor and living on a budget.
So, what do you think a complete copy? Now, like I say, eBay's twice as much as price charting.
I'm going to go with my rule. I'm tripling it. I'm going to say $21.
You're low.
I'm low?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go 33.
Price charting has it at $30.71. eBay has it, the complete copies I've seen, which wasn't a whole lot, had it at $65.
The hell with that. I am not paying $65.
Would you pay $30?
No.
I mean, for $30, this thing better look like it's never seen a UV light in its life.
Yeah.
It better be like, that cardboard must look like it was pressed fresh out of China.
There better not be any type of cigarette residue on this whatsoever. And here's the thing.
They better come with like a drop of George Foreman's sweat.
Yeah.
Like a little
of all.
A little.
Because of the simple fact, $65, you're out your damn mind.
Or a little drop of grease from his grill.
Yeah. But $65, that's a new game on any console.
That's a new game. Or still, a really good game on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, you can give me $65. I think I can buy 3 games that are probably in our top 10 list right now, if I had to guess.
It's a possibility.
I mean, if anything, you tell me that I can buy. I think Star Fox was pretty cheap. It was like a $25 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd buy 2 copies of Star Fox and just alternate. I would buy like Star Fox and Star Fox Greatest Hits before I would spend that.
And then on top of that, even $35, there's some pretty solid sales that happen that is worth $35.
Now, I will defend that. At $30.71, you're buying it to put on the shelf.
Yeah,
to have the box.
At that point, the gremlins hit you.
So, what do you think a new copy is on this, Josh? Price charting is all over this one. I cannot defend what they say it would be, but I understand it. You want me to tell you what eBay, the one I seen on eBay, sold for?
Yes.
They've lost their fucking mind. On eBay, I seen somebody had bought one for $499.
No, fuck you.
I can't remember if it was bought or listed at that. I think it was bought at that. And
Fuck
I'm like,
you.
lost your
Yeah,
fucking mind.
no.
Like, maybe if you had every Super Nintendo game sealed, and this was the last one you needed, and you're like, fuck it, I've spent $100,000.
Yeah,
let me just go ahead and spend.
I spent $1 million.
$1 billion.
On what was that? What's that game?
Stadium events or something like that?
Yeah. Stadium events, Olympic sport, whatever the fuck it is. And then there's also that other one. Which one? There's Earthbound Jim.
Oh, Earthbound Jim.
Yeah, whatever is fucking
Earthbound.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim isn't as bad as Earthbound.
Yeah, Earthbound. And then you also have that one. Didn't it have like Arthur in it?
I don't know.
I know there's like 3 like ridiculous amounts. Like I said, that $400 one. Like I said, dude had to have an entire shelf new, and he goes, "This is the last piece of my puzzle."
Like George Foreman must have came out and presented this fucking game
and
himself.
made me a fucking burger on a George Foreman grill.
And served it between 2 new copies of this. Okay, so eBay's lost their fucking mind at $500. What do you think price charting?
Dude, if brand new, sealed,
I can't defend it, but I can understand. When I tell you $500, you're going to handle this one a lot better.
Yeah. $100.
You're low.
I'm low? Okay. 120.
130, 125.
Okay.
I would say it was released later and maybe there wasn't as many. I don't think that's a play. I just think probably people threw this shit away.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think there wasn't a lot of these produced. I think there was a lot of them that ended in a landfill, which means that there's not a lot out there.
I think if I told you it was $131, you'd say they lost your fucking mind. But when I tell you it was $499, it brings it back in perspective.
100%.
Josh.
Yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day, this game's $7 loose. If I had a loose copy of it right here, or $3.50.
I'm taking the $3, man.
I'll go ahead and tell you.
I don't have the gremlin. You taking the card. I know you're taking the card.
I don't know. Just because I don't own this cartridge myself, I don't even think I've seen it. I didn't know he had a game on there.
I didn't
on
either.
The Super. I would probably take the cart just for the completionist part.
Exactly.
I will tell you. So we're talking $3.50. If I took the cart over $3.50, and then tomorrow I go to the junk store where they sell games for $2, and this game's out there for $2, I'm leaving it. I'm not picking up a second copy to trade. Like, I do not feel comfortable trading anybody this game. I feel like I'm dirty dicking them.
Yeah.
So,
and we only dirty dick people in fantasy football.
That is true. So you ready for some George Forman facts?
I am. I'm actually looking forward to the fun facts.
Okay. This is a little all over the place.
George Forman, so I'm assuming there's going to be some boxing. I'm assuming there's going to be some about his grill.
Yes.
About the fact that he named all his sons George.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
And a little bit about what he made off the grill versus his boxing career.
Solid. I like that.
So, first fact I got, everybody's going to know this is the low-hanging fruit. What's the most obvious thing you think I have as a fun fact about George Forman?
It's got to be the grill.
He boxes and he grills.
Yeah.
So I think when he won his first heavyweight title, it's kind of like, because you don't think George Foreman's that old. He won his first heavyweight title in 1973 against Joe Frazier.
Okay.
So another part that you may not know, you've heard of the fight, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yep.
Muhammad Ali, one of the most iconic fights. I'm not into boxing that much, but that is like...
That's an iconic
That one's talked about. It's got its own tagline.
Yeah.
Maybe, arguably, one of the biggest boxing matches ever.
Yeah.
He was the guy who lost to Muhammad Ali
in
Rumble in the Jungle. So, in 73, he won his first heavyweight title, I told you, against Joe Frazier. In 94, at the age of 45, he beat Michael Moorer to get the heavyweight title at age 45. I think he got the heavyweight title 3 times, but he had actually kind of stepped away and then came back.
Who in the hell is boxing at 45?
Apparently this motherfucker, and he won. And he won the freaking world title. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's like, hey, you got your butt whooped by Muhammad Ali. At least you're getting beat by what might arguably be one of the best athletes in history.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I feel like if I was Michael Moore, I wouldn't be intimidated by this old man. You probably should, because he nearly whooped your butt.
45, I'm like, that's nothing. Because that's, how old was Michael Moore at that time?
Probably way younger.
Had to be, right?
So when we're talking about 1973, he won his first heavyweight title. He was the Olympic heavyweight boxing champion in 1968. Like, this is like...
So he was...
And this is testament to the grill, because he still looks pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll say, I mean, he's done great.
So when he came back and won the third one, or when he beat Michael Moore, he retired and he came back. So let's talk about personal life. He has 5 daughters, 5 sons.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why that seems amazing, but 10 kids, that's a lot. That's more than one marriage. I think he had 2 or 3. All 5 of the sons are named George. Their names are George Jr., George III, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And he says that there's 2 reasons why he named his sons George. The first one is so they would all have something in common.
Not the fact that their dad's George Forman.
Well, I guess where him and his children all had something in common. And then this part, I think, kind of, because George Foreman didn't come from a great, neighborhood, didn't have a whole lot of money. He says, after naming all his kids George, all of his sons, he says, I say to them, if one of us goes up, then we all go up together. And if one of us go down, we all go down together.
I respect that.
So, yeah.
I respect that.
So, from what Foreman admits, he made about $5 million before his first retirement, which in today's money would be about $40 million when he retired the first time. His first profit check from the grill. So basically, I don't want to get too much into this because I'm probably going to butcher it. He didn't necessarily invent the grill. This guy invented a grill and put George Forman as the sponsor of it. They teamed up. Maybe he had some input in it down the line. But the first check he got, which I think was a little bit after it came out, was in 1997, was the first profit check. Not just like a sign-on or anything. Yeah. The first profit check he got was in 1997 from the grill. And it was $1 million. The next year, him and his partner sold over $200 million worth of grills, and Foreman took home about 40% of the profits. He says in all, he made about $138 million from the grill deal, even at 48% of the profits. The grill is one of the things that pushed him to retire from boxing. Because he was making that much more off grills than he was boxing.
Why the hell would you go to boxing and get your face beat in like a pug whenever you get money from a grill and you're not even doing anything?
So, just put this in perspective.
If I ever meet this man, he's autographing my George Forman.
So, before his first retirement, he made about $5 million. Let's just say, which in today's time is $40 million. Well, he came back and he made some more money and won a title. I'm sure, let's just say, conservatively, he probably made $100 million overall from boxing.
Yeah.
As of 2023, his net worth is approximately $300 million.
And that's all from the grill.
Well, I'm just saying, I know before his first retirement, he admits he made $5 million, which is $40 million nowadays. So then he probably made more when he came back from retirement. But as of today, he's worth $300 million. So just think of that. That is almost
at least
6 times how much about 5 times more than what he made boxing for his first retirement.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do the math on. Is at minimum, the grill itself is 2/3 of his net worth. At minimum.
So here's another part that I thought was pretty interesting. Because, I mean, I've not seen him in a hot minute, but he's getting probably old as dirt, you know. Say he was a freaking Olympic champion in 68. That's, I don't know, that's like 15. I'm trying to think. See, I was born in 81, so that's 78. Yeah, he was a champion like 15 years before I was freaking born, you know.
Yeah.
So he has been in several TV shows.
I know he's in King of the Hill.
That is one of them.
I know he's in King of the Hill.
He is in King of the Hill. I think he was in it for an episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've not watched that. But I'm impressed that you knew that.
It was an episode, and if I'm not mistaken, one of his sons is like a car dealer. Like, it's fucking funny. And it's like George Forman cars or something like that. Like, it's pretty entertaining.
Okay, let me... there's going to be one more that you'll probably get.
Looney Tunes.
No.
Damn. Animaniacs.
He's in a show about cars. I'm guessing it's probably because of one of his cars. I don't know the show a lot other than his car. He's in Fast and Loud.
I was about to say, if you say Fast and Furious, I was going to say bullshit.
Fast and Furious, he bitch slapped The Rock. He's like, I ain't got time for this shit. I got to slap you and make you a grilled cheese on my grill.
It's not about family.
Another show that I've never watched that I think is got crazy viewing. It's a show that currently runs. He was on that.
The Simpsons?
No. It's a singing show.
The Masked Singer?
The Masked Singer. He was on The Masked Singer. I think he might have been on it a couple times. I can't remember. He was in the $6 Million Man. So we're talking like that's some stuff probably before I was born, or before I was old enough to have cognizance of what's happening. And this one is, I've not watched this show. This one I may have. I don't recall it. But I'll give you one hint for what the show is. It's
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
No. Stars Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Oh shit, he's in Home Improvement?
He is in Home Improvement. And now when I say he's in Home Improvement, he's not in every episode. He's had like an episode
I've watched Home Improvement.
Yes.
Where the fuck is he in Home Improvement?
I don't know. But he is in an episode or two of Home Improvement. I feel like he's got to be one of Tim's competitors because I could see freaking Tim Allen.
No, that's the other dude. That's Bill something.
But God, what, Bob Vila?
Yeah, Bob Vila.
Where
the fuck was George?
I'm looking up.
You're looking it up.
I'm looking it up. It's called Unchained Malady. At home, Tim receives a chain letter with instructions that it be sent forward to 10 people within 24 hours.
Shit, yeah.
Tim doesn't have to buy into that and disregards the letter despite Jill's warnings. Randy breaks his new bike and has to figure out how to da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I've watched that episode. And he sends it to George Forman as a prank. And George Forman shows up on his doorstep.
Tim refuses to believe in the chain letter's curse because George Forman himself is coming to make an appearance on Tool Time.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, like, I can go years without watching Tool Time. If you get into, like, watch one episode, maybe one of the most underrated shows ever. Like, it's kind of like Golden Girls. Like, I'm telling you, even as a dude, Golden Girls, they're sassy old ladies. And I like me a sassy old lady.
Golden Girls is solid.
But I can watch, if you played Home Improvement from episode 1 and said, we're not leaving until we finish all of them, I'd probably stink to high heavens, but I'd be like, I'm in. I am in.
I said the most underrated shows, I think, personally, for me, is Home Improvement. It's solid. Then there's Golden Girls. Solid show.
I feel like it's appropriately rated. It got a lot of love in the past, 10 years.
And then Mama's Family.
Oh, Mama's Family was good. Oh, sassy old lady. I'm telling you. You put a sassy old lady, that is...
And she wasn't even old whenever she filmed that. She was 19 years old whenever she was playing Mama.
Well...
But she played a damn good sassy old lady.
Well, we have came to the point, Josh. We're winding it down. We got to rank this.
Yeah, we do.
And apparently, Foreman for real is gonna be in your Mount Rushmore because we've only played one other game. So right now we've only played pieces. So both of us have pieces as number one game by default. With Foreman for real, where are you ranking it? Is it number one or is it number two?
I had more fun with pieces than I did this game.
I could argue that pieces, I can understand why you didn't like it. There's a mile of difference between pieces and Foreman for real. Pieces was a game that you could play. It was remotely fun. Foreman for real.
If we get to play pieces with party mode, I think that'd be a totally different game.
Well, the bad part is it seems like George Forman came from nothing, kind of self-made himself, whether it was with intelligence and boxing and God-given talent and hard work and
luck with the grill.
Luck with the grill. And it seems like he's a pretty decent dude. I don't know the guy personally, but I don't want nothing bad to happen to George Foreman. I'll probably, when somebody says, "Hey, George Foreman died today," I'll be like, "Oh man, that sucks,"
Yeah.
But this game was hot fucking garbage. It was so bad. Like, maybe the worst sports game that we've played.
It's up there.
It's in the discussion. I don't know if it is.
It's in the discussion.
So I guess that we're definitely unified. I knew in the first 5 minutes of this game, I was like, if Josh tells me that this is better in pieces, I'm bitch slapping him is what I'm going to do. Like, Allie had to pull me off of him. I've got to kill his ass. Foreman for real was pretty bad. Do you think this is going to be the worst game we play this season?
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I hope so.
Do you think? Well, I think with that, I think we're both going to say the next game's got to be better.
It's got to be better.
Do you have a prediction?
I
can go ahead and tell you mine.
Yeah, what's yours?
You got a new seat over here. We broke out both of the WWF.
We do have
We're
both.
Getting that wrestling game.
Getting that
wrestling game this week.
Okay.
This week is going to...
I feel you on that. I'm going to go with a platformer.
Okay. So, just keep this in mind. Like, both seasons, we've had correlations, FX chips, movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Cameron directed. Amiga. So, we've got an Atlas puzzle game and an acclaimed horrible boxing game with a celebrity in it. You know what? If I had to put I'm going wrestling.
That's close to the boxing genre.
And you're going with...
I'm going something completely out there.
If I had to throw a 1B in there, I would say it's going to be another game with a celebrity or a sports star in it.
Yeah.
If I had to throw a 2B in there.
See,
or a 1B.
With me saying platformer...
That's pretty broad.
Well, not only that, but you said that the people that made this game done Ghouls and Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Did they not do Super Ghouls and Ghosts?
I don't think they did.
See, that was my hope. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That's a fun game, and it's fucking hard as shit.
Well, yeah, it is bad. Well, it's Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah,
Either way, them games
genre.
were so bullshit because you couldn't hardly play them.
Yeah, you could. You know what you had to do? Just run.
Are you trying to tell me
I'm trying to tell you.
It's not like No Escape.
It's not like No Escape. You just run. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Just keep going. Use those iframes to your advantage. That's all you got to do.
All right, well, I guess we're going to wrap it up right here.
That's it.
I have a feeling you're going to anxiously await the next draw because I bet Josh is just itching to get rid of this game.
No,
I was.
Last week, whenever you said we had to postpone, I'm like, no. I
was so busy, and I'm like, there's no way I can play this game for another week. And I fired it up today, and I'm like, it's not that bad. And it was that bad.
It was terrible.
It was that bad.
I said, after we got done filming our last one, I went out to eat with the family, and I was playing it there while I was waiting on my food. And I'm like, I could record this episode in the next 30 minutes.
So let me ask you this. I know the answer to this, but I've got to hear you say it just because I think we both have a bad taste. It's like drinking soured milk. This game or Untouchables?
I don't know.
I still think Untouchables is
I think
by a
Untouchables,
mile.
yeah.
By a mile. I don't think it's in it.
I think it's Untouchables, and it has to be Untouchables because I think Untouchables would have been a little bit better if we could have used the gun, especially for the shooting gallery stages. I bet you,
or a SNES mouse or something. like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna draw the next game. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See ya.